Hey, what's going on Facebook? It's your boy, Average Fisherman. Check it out, guys. Today, another Sam Rayburn video. Today's video is all about that frog. It's all about the blow-ups. We're going to talk about water clarity, and we're going to dive in a little bit to why the bass that are blowing up on your frog are just sometimes missing it. So without further ado, let's dive into this, guys. All right, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. These fish catches that you're going to see took place this past Sunday on Rayburn. Went out with a buddy of mine, Hank Harrison. Man, I had a blast with you. We just had a real good time, guys. And I will actually put all the fish catches in right here.
Like, you know. Oh, I don't even know if he has it. He doesn't.
Well, what's crazy is when they're there, man, they get it.
What's this? Oh, you suck, dude. I laid the pine, too. Like that. That was freaking TV quality. Oh, my God.
Man. You went to the flip.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. That thing went ape shit. I watched it. Oh, Hank. No. They just sharked it, dude.
I know.
Oh my goodness! No! No! That was gnarly.
Did you see it?
That was so gnarly.
Yes. No. No. No.
Dude, that was a big one. He stripped drag.
It's a big fish, dude.
I felt him that.
Ow. I'm still on the trolling motor, baby. Still on the trolling motor, baby.
Get him! Yes, sir!
Look at that chunk.
Oh. We're setting the hook. Those fish are coming up and picking up weeds, and those weeds are getting in between the bait and the line.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, dude.
Or the bait and the hook or anything like that.
I didn't think about that.
Mouth and the hook. I mean, it could be just really messing it up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm still on the trolling motor, baby.
Oh,
still
dude,
on the trolling motor. Still on the trolling motor, Hank.
What the heck?
Yes, dude. Yes. Yes, baby. Thank you so much for coming back to me. I thank you. Thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh, she choked it, bro.
That kind of starts to support the claim of dead. They're coming up and killing the bait.
Yeah, she come back.
And ate it better.
Yes. Yes. Big green. Big green. That makes me so happy, dude. Look what's in her throat, Hank. That's a huge crawdad.
Wow.
She just ate that.
Wow.
Look how skinny she is, though. Thank you, baby. Whoa.
Well, hey,
is
look.
that a carp? Oh my gosh. That is a bass. See it?
Yeah, that is a bass. That was a bass. Carp have those forked tails. That was a bass.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That was about a 7-8 pounder.
How? Yes.
That's a good one.
Golly, dude, he choked it. Look at that frog. Yes. Cool.
That's how they're supposed to eat it.
Yep. All right, guys, let's dive in to some of those fish catches on the videos that I just showed. First thing we're going to talk about is water clarity. We pull up to this spot that historically, and I would say even last weekend, I had some real big fish blow up on the frog and on topwater baits, and they weren't getting them. When we pulled up, I looked down at the water, and I tell Hank, I don't know if this is going to work up here or not. And it was because of one thing, water clarity. The night before, Rayburn and Jasper had just some big boomers. It rained hard. It dropped a lot of rain in a short amount of time on the lake. And it dirtied up the water significantly. It was real muddy, brackish, and anybody that knows anything about fishing in general, when the water gets dirty, okay, the fish get tight to cover. So what I mean by that is, if you're a flipper and you're out there and you're flipping, and you flippers that flip dirty water, you know that bass get real tight to cover real quick. And that's because they can't see. So when it gets that dirty, they're using they can hear, okay, their sight's gone. So they're really using those lateral lines, and they're really feeling the bait and what's around them. So if they get tight to that cover, it makes them feel safe. It makes them, a little more comfortable, right? So with that being said, how does it affect your topwater bite? Well, with the type of stuff that we were fishing and targeting, the thicker grass mats, okay, these fish are under those grass mats. It's super dingy. So they hear this bait above them. They can absolutely feel it. But honing in on it while they're looking up is really tough because they can't see it. And topwater fishing is just as much as a sight thing as it is the hearing and the feeling for the fish, okay? So I posted a blow up on that video that it happened right off the bat in the morning. You can hear it. And I posted several of those videos on there, not because, I want everybody to be like, oh, why is he posting these videos? He's got no fish. I want everybody to understand that when you're frog fishing, you're gonna just miss fish, okay? And let's talk about why. 1, water clarity, just like I explained. Now let's get into the second point. 2, the type of structure, the type of cover you're fishing, okay? Hank and I had been talking through the day, and we ended up playing a little game later, and I'll get to that in a second, and it was actually really fun. But the type of structure we were fishing was hay grass. Not going to hide it. I mean, that's just what I was fishing. You can see it all over the videos, what we were doing. The bass were so in the thick of hay grass that when we got to talking about why are we missing the fish, what is it, okay? Well, when you're working your frog over the top of that hay grass, okay, and those bass are underneath it, all right, there's something that was occurring that it was completely simple, and I just didn't think about it, and actually Hank alluded to it. When you've got your frog, I'm going to use a drill bit as an example. You've got your frog going over the grass mat, you're working it, right? In between your frog and the bass's mouth, you've got all this thick vegetation. So when the bass is coming up to get it, he's getting a mouthful of vegetation. He's got to try to get your frog in, but your frog is having a hard time getting pulled down because of the hay grass. So you hear me actually laughing hysterically several times because they actually knocked my frog completely up off the mat, and it flipped. And Hank had it happen several times too. And we were actually just laughing about it. But the point of that is, hey, that's going to happen frog fishing, okay? They're going to miss it. And a lot of guys are probably going to harp on me, like they see me setting the hook quick. And it's because I was getting my better hook sets. As soon as they got on it and I seen my frog go down, I was setting the hook, okay? And I wasn't waiting very long because I didn't want my frog to get dislodged from the hay grass or whatever. And I actually started becoming, was getting successful hookups a little bit later by not waiting as long to get it. So Hank and I played a little game. We'd missed a bunch of fish and we were joking about it, and Hank's like, well, let's play a game, man. If you set the hook and you miss a fish, you lose the trolling motor. And I started laying the pine to him. And Hank didn't get the trolling motor until the very end of the day. He caught a nice hunchback of Notre Dame fish is what I call it. I didn't put it in there because it was just funny. And he got the trolling motor back at the end of the day. But let me back up and talk about some of these blow-ups, okay? So Hank connected with a big fish, and he had her hooked up for a second and just missed her. And I'm not sure really what happened, if he didn't get a good hook setter on her or she just, had that grass in between her mouth. But we were coming up, and you hear me giggling because like I tell him, I'm like, this area right here had several big fish on it, guys. And I I'm like, you know, we got to work this little area like this. But last weekend they were here and and just do this, and we get to talking about it, and it just comes to life. I miss one, and then he flips up there and he misses one, and then the video I posted, I actually go to the back of the boat because I just set the hook and I missed one. Like, it sharked it. She come up and I seen her and just sharked it and just went down and it just missed my frog, man. So I go to the back, Hank flips in there and he's working the frog, and it's just one of those big fish blow ups, you know, baboosh. And I'm watching it the whole time and I see the fish come up, and you could actually see it in the video. You can see her come up and get it, and he lays into her and just misses her, and he just missed a big fish. So, you know, we go a little further and then we start playing that game and I start laying into the fish. Okay. And, you know, with that being said, I went to just, as soon as I got it, man, I was setting the hook. But what I'm going to talk about in this next little video that I'm going to talk about that I showed, I cast over, okay, and I'm working my frog, and you see me pause it. I cannot tell you how important it is to pause the frog right now, guys. So we're fishing thick vegetation, but we're pausing it in the high percentage areas. Your nooks, your holes, your indentions in the grass, okay? And I didn't post all of them, but a lot of times you hear Hank, you know, talk about in that one clip, he said, man, it's just TV quality stuff right there, because I was talking about, you know, pausing the frog and putting in these nooks, and one come up and got it, okay? And I missed her. And, you know, so I'm working this frog, and we get to talking about the attitude of the fish, okay? And I'm like, yeah, you know, we're talking about how we're working it, pausing the frog. And then Hank's like, man, I really believe a lot of times these fish are coming up and they're just attacking the bait to just kill it. And his theory was just to smash it, it falls through the mat, and then they suck it back up. So I'm flipping over, working my frog on this outside mat. I pause it in that high percentage area, and she comes barreling out of there, man. I seen her, and just smashes it. And I was trying to be disciplined and wait, because I didn't see my frog go down, and I just seen her smash it up off the water. And I wait. She comes right back out and smashes it. And I got her that time. So what's something that's really interesting about that fish catch is, one, you know, I let it lay a little longer. You know, based off Hank's theory, he was thinking they're smashing it, trying to kill it, and let it float back down. And she come back and got it. But two, what's really interesting about that fish catch is, you hear me say, look what's in her mouth. It was a giant crawdad, okay? And if you've been on Rayburn lately, you know when the water was high, if anybody that fished any of the tournaments, you look down your live well and you're seeing all these crawdad pinchers. They were feeding heavily on crawdads. I believe they still are. And that crawdad was a giant in her throat. And she hit my frog. She didn't even have the pincher all the way down her throat yet, guys. And she was trying to eat again. She was super skinny, summertime fish, trying to, you know, bulk back up. And it really kind of dawned upon me that one thing I should have been doing was I should have been a little more universal. And you see Hank doing it later, but we talk about flipping the hay grass, okay? And getting that bait down to them instead of making them come up and try to, you know, get the fish to attack above, break it down to them. And Seth Fighter has a great grass flipping video on Wired to Fish that I encourage everybody to go watch. And he talks about how to set it up, you know, and the weight and how these fish congregate in like small areas under these mats. But the next clip right after that, I'm going and I look down and I'm looking and I seen her swim from one mat to the other. And I had just worked my frog over that area. It was at least a 7 to 8 pounder. And, you know, you hear Hank say it too. Like, yeah, that was a 7, 8 pound bass. And I was literally on top of her and she just swam over nice and easy. So I think the next time I go out, I think I'm probably going to do a little more flipping in the hay grass and just get that lure down through there and try that. I do believe that would work, everybody. We didn't do a lot of it, but I think these fish, you know, they're like humans, man. When it gets hot, and it gets miserable. They're hot. And a lot of times, you know, you could be going over giants like that with your frog or topwater, buzzbait, whatever you got, and they're just not interested in coming up and hitting it. So if you take it to them, maybe sometimes you get a little bit of opportunity. You're dropping it down right in front of their face, and, you know, they got to eat it. So, guys, you know, this brings me kind of to the end of my video. I had a great time. To follow up, you can go out in Rayburn right now. The lake's almost normal pool. It was pretty dirty Sunday when I was out there due to a storm we had. You can still go cover a bunch of hay grass and get bit, okay? It's not everywhere. Pay attention to the water clarity. With the water clarity is going to determine what you need to do and how you need to do it, guys. And you need to make those small adjustments like that to be successful. The other thing that I would tell you is the offshore bite. I see a lot of guys posting about stuff like, you know, catching fish out here doing this, this, and this. Hey, man, hats off to you boys, because every time I go out there and I'm looking for fish and checking everything, I'm just either I'm not hitting it at the right time or those fish just don't want to bite. So my suggestion would be just to stay shallow and cruise the hay grass and just cover water, and that's the most producing consistent bite that I can say that's out there right now. You can catch them in front of the hay grass too, dragging, you know, kind of, I guess it's not a real specific color, but just pay attention to water clarity. You know, if you've got real dark water, use a dark bait, you know. If you've got, you know, cleaner water, adjust your water or adjust your bait color to something a little more translucent. I particularly like using something with a lot of fleck in it to kind of get that shine and draw that attention. The other thing too is I guess that I should add to this on the frogs. If you get a little bit of dirty water, okay, and it's like it's not clean, but it's a little bit dirty, switch to a popping frog. The walking frogs are great. You know, they put off the vibration and the chugs in the water. But if you switch to a popping frog, you'll get fish that are looking for it a little more, and it'll help them hone in on it a little more because they got more of a pop to it, and they can really hone in on it better than just a walking frog. So that's a little secondary tip. But, guys, without diving into any more, hey, I appreciate everybody's questions and stuff that you guys send me. I love answering your guys' questions. I want to give a shout out to everyone that has liked and followed my page lately, guys. I say this every video, but I really mean it. I'm growing a lot, and it's truly and greatly appreciated, guys. And hey, if you're all near Sam Rayburn, hit me up. I'd love to take you guys fishing. Hey, without further ado, guys, you have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Check you next time.